What's up? Welcome back to another video, guys. Today we're back with a react video for once. We're back, and guys, we're going to be reacting to the full story of Stompn, from the Siege #1 to the GOATs of Pro. Okay, maybe not the GOAT of Pro League, but one of the best players on Pro League at the moment. He performed 6 Invitational, and he performed even before that. But we're going to react in a video as a collective, and we're going to react to a story of Stompn. If you guys want more reacts to Siege or any other game, let me know down in the comments below. But let's get into it. So if you don't know myself, I support G2 Esports, Rainbow Six Siege, and also their other game like CSGO, Valorant, and beyond. I love the org. That's my org. I always support them. So, yeah, so that's why I know Stompn. That's why I love Stompn as well. So yeah, but let's get into it. The video. This is about a video made by just gonna shout them out, Spawn Peaked. It's about a year old video now, so it doesn't really make a difference if it's you know, now or whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
And eventually becoming the best controller player in the entire world. This is the story of Stompn, the king of console. To understand just how good Stompn is, we first have to go back to where it all began. Operation Grim Sky. Operation Grim Sky was the season that introduced many changes. The 2 new operators for the season were Maverick.
I remember that season very well. I was there for a season.
Changes like the Hereford base rework. This season.
Alright, this season, Grim Sky, very great season. I love that season a lot. Even though Clash was fucking annoying, I loved it though.
Is the start of Stompn's Siege career. He would level his account to play ranked and immediately start the console grind. His first season playing ranked ever, he hit Plat 2 with a 1.1k.
That's very impressive. That is very, for rank 1.0 system, that's very impressive to get for first ranked season to get Plat 2 and to have a 1.1 KD. My highest was, I think it was maybe Plat 3 I think so, and I had like a 1.0 KD as well. So we're kind of the same paths, we're the same players.
Keep in mind, Plat at the time was much harder to get than it is today.
Because I think it was Diamond and Plat then.
1.0, and there were way less ranks back then. So hitting one of the highest ranks in the game at the time, Plat 2, was very impressive for a player's first season on the game, especially with a positive KD. This was the start of Stompn, with eventually the goal in his mind to become the greatest
That's Richie, I know what.
in the entire world. And he would do whatever it took to get there, even stooping so low as eventually cheating on console. This is where Stompn would start to use a Zim. When he hit Plat 2 in his first season with a positive KD, most people were already suspicious of him using a Zim at first. But when the very next season he would hit the highest rank in the game, which at the time was Diamond, and he would do it with a 1.5 KD, everybody knew that Stompn was Zimming. Either that, or this was his Smurf account. Now very quickly, if you don't know what Zimming is, it is essentially a third-party plugin that you could use on your console to allow you to play a mouse and keyboard.
Alright, just here, if you're Zimming in Rainbow Six Siege or any other FPS game, you're a bitch. I want to say it loud and clear. You are a bitch. There we go. Unless you're playing Zim, but you know you don't play on PC lobbies, there's a difference. Then you're a good man. Good boy.
Instead of having to use a controller. This is a huge advantage because the average controller player
has
much worse aim than someone on a keyboard and mouse. When you have a mouse, you can be much more precise with your movements in terms of your aim, because you're able to use every muscle in your entire arm to aim, whereas on console, you can only use your thumb, and the joystick is so much harder to use than something as precise as a mouse. Because
I think aiming on control is it's easier than on PC. I think so. No, am I tripping? I wouldn't be tripping, would I? Just in general. I think just in general.
This, many players, including myself, consider this to be a form of cheating, especially since Ubisoft themselves have acknowledged it as cheating in the past. Because of how common it is to Zim, especially at the higher ranks of console, however, there really isn't any punishment most of the time for people who do this, including Stompn. Now that you know what a Zim is though, how long was Stompn using it for? As of right now, Stompn isn't using a Zim and hasn't for many years, but as an estimated guess, it's safe to say that at the very least, Stompn was using a Zim from Grim Sky all the way to Shadow Legacy. It's not even 100% confirmed.
Yeah, it's not confirmed. We don't know.
First place, much less to the extent that I've talked about it to Stompn's defense, but it's pretty heavily implied not only by him, but his stats and the friends that he has around him that have talked about it. Up until Neon Dawn, he was really just playing the game to hit the high rank and leave, just like most console players at the time.
Like myself.
Released, however, this is where Stompn would show his level of dedication to the rest of the world. In this season, Stompn would amass an insane insane 1,147 ranked games played in this season alone. Most high-level players and people who
1,000 games, bro. That's like what was it, 6 months a season? That's about 200 games a month, 250 a month, bro. What? Crazy, bro.
game as a living only reach 400 to 500 games played per season on average. So double that just for a ranked star and a kid was absolutely insane.
Stompn, you're gonna have so much aura in real life. Yo, Stompn, be honest, bro. What is your daily routine, bro? And like, don't lie, bro. Don't be on no weird shit. Stompn, when you wake up in the morning, what do you do?
Do we have to shout Jinxie first, Stompn as well? Because Jinxie didn't make Stompn, that's but he gave him a platform, if that makes sense. Do you mean? Not in a bad way, of course, but like, you know, Jinxie has created like a pathway for Stompn, just saying. So shout out to Jinxie also. And by the way, I'm not surprised that Stompn that played that many games, because if he really wanted to go pro, he can. That's why he done it. I mean, in the first place, that's why he done it in the first place, to play so many games. He wanted to go pro, probably. Maybe, I don't know. But that's what Fett said also. Fett also said that if you were given God's hands on the controller and PC, then he said that Jinx would have gone pro if you focus the same amount of time on trying to reach professional Siege than on stream, because you stream to one viewer a full 2 years, I think so, and that's why he said that, because then he dedicates time to Siege, but also streaming as well, like myself. So yeah, there's no wrong though. Oh, I clicked our video. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Oh, we're going to ad now.
Nothing. I'll hop straight on the game.
You don't be eating or showering or shitting or pissing?
Nope.
How about brush your teeth?
Nah, none of that. Just straight on Siege.
That's dedication. That's actual
For
dedication.
reference, that's almost an entire month of doing nothing but playing ranked matches. Keep in mind, this is not including queue times, launching the game, sleep, eating, or anything in between. How did he have this much time on his hands, you might be asking? Well, at the time, even when he hit #1 champ on North American console, he was only 14. 14 years old. He was just a kid.
Bro, I was fucking like
Part
plat,
of this
bro, some
entire
shit
story.
like that.
Even
Gold
now,
maybe.
At the time of this recording, he can't even try out for Pro League because he's still only 17 years old. So it's safe to say that he was absolutely
I just realized I'm older than Stompn, bro. That's what I realized. I'm 21 this year. I think he's only 19, bro.
no lifing the game, but it paid off super well in the end. Because with this many games played at such a high level, as well as him finally posting on TikTok, people started to recognize him, eventually getting to the point where he would be able to get his own 5-stack, and that truly is where nobody in the ranked ladder could stop him at all. This eventually led him to becoming the #1 console champion in North America, and it seemed like nothing could stop him. Not only was he climbing the ranked ladder easily, but Stompn also was blowing up on TikTok. We're going crazy over Stompn's videos because his aim, especially for a console player and for a 14-year-old, was just insane.
I feel like
near perfect mechanics for a controller, it seemed. But
I feel like if you're a least champion to diamond and you constantly get let's say diamond 2 to champ, you have a great pathway to go pro. That's what I'm saying. That is true in my opinion. If you are high champ, low and high diamond, you can definitely go pro in Rainbow Six Siege. Just saying right now. From console perspective, you can always go on PC, stuff like that.
He was on a controller at this point. He became so well known on TikTok and within the console ranked community at a higher level that he and another very popular console Siege creator would eventually meet and collab.
Jinxie?
This player, as many of you already have
Yes,
guessed,
sir.
is Jinxie. Jinxie right now is bar none the most famous Siege player on planet Earth.
True.
Hands down. He's a household name for anybody that knows about Siege or even about streaming. So
I'd
when
love to collab with
found
Jinxie one day.
Stompn and asked
In the
him
future,
to
maybe.
one
You never know,
time
you never
on
know.
Stream, it absolutely blew up Stompn to a different level of fame. Not only for appearing on Jinxie's stream, but for absolutely dominating Jinxie in their 1v1.
That's my brother.
Ready to get put on fucking pack watch, Stompn?
That was years ago, bro.
This kid is fucking crazy. Every round, it's a headshot immediately. Oh my god. Dead. Like, what the fuck?
Bro, that's squeaky voice, bro.
Not only
Holy
would
shit.
Stompn get huge on TikTok. Stompn, after this 1v1, would actually go on to make content on Twitch as well, starting his account on February 22nd.
That's why I say you can't create I mean, even though Stompn would, without him, maybe still do Twitch without him, maybe.
Like I said, he was already massive on TikTok and was playing with the biggest Siege streamer in the entire world. It only made sense and was only natural that when he would start streaming, he would see near instantaneous success. The craziest part about all of this, though, is that even after he became #1 champ on North American console, he was somehow still getting better at the game. His mechanics were better, his game sense was better, his decision making was better, hell, even his timings were better. Stompn was in the conversation at this point to not only be the best controller player in North America, but now in the entire world, and nobody could beat him. But when you're already at the top of the ranked charts, there really isn't much to grind for. On PC, you could always just play competitively and become a pro player, but on console, there really wasn't anything like that. That was until the infamous Roller Saturdays was created. Console kids, Stompn included, wanted a way to feel like they were in Pro League without having to switch to PC to actually do it. At the time, PC was and still is ridden with cheaters, so instead of facing that and the amount of climbing they would have to do, they created their own path.
By the way, cheaters are still a big thing problem in Siege on PC. PC. Yo, but by the way, chat, like honestly, they should. I feel like Ubisoft should do something like not Pro League, sorry, but like for example, you have Siege Cup, right? Like in the game, they should make like Face It. I know like years ago there was Face It for Siege, definitely. I remember that. But I feel like they should do something similar, bro. Honestly, like I'm not even lying, bro. They should because I feel like Siege, I feel like console has a lot of potential to have Pro League in the future as well, and not just Siege, also like Valorant, such as CS:GO. Sorry, let me rephrase that. COD, Valorant, etc. Even fucking Paladins, bro, Overwatch, stuff like that. There, I don't know if any games do have like that console
and they created their
Pro
own
League
invite-only tournament for only console players called Roller Saturdays. As the name suggests, this was a competitive tournament that would happen between the best controller players globally every single Saturday. And because Jinxie was one of the heads of this tournament, not only was the tournament always fresh with new and good players, but this tournament would also have a lot of views and eyes on it at all times. This is how the Jinxieverse started. If you don't
That's why it's so important, chat, guys, to always give everything in 120% in consoles, bro. I swear, you never know. But the reason why I'm trying so hard to hit champ is because you never know. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, you never know what's gonna happen.
with the Jinxie.
For example, if Richie never hit champ, he wouldn't be invited by Jinxie. If Stompn was never hit champ, he wouldn't be invited by Jinxie. Jaguns, Mingo, Zim is kind of mid, honestly, and it doesn't matter anyway. And so on.
Is pretty much anyone who made it into Roller Saturdays would become famous overnight. People
Skype
like
as well.
Richie, Mingo, and Skype, who all had small careers already, would immediately be household names to all Jinxie viewers and console players literally overnight. It was, and still is, insane. There's no other way to put it. Even with all of the good players in this tournament, however, Stompn, as usual, found a way to absolutely dominate. He has over 40 wins in this tournament at the time of this recording, and the
40?
most amount of wins in the Discord server, with the least amount of losses. Stompn was so good, and is still so good, that most people were begging it to be on his team in this tournament, because it was almost a guarantee to win every single time, just because—
Bro, that's aura, bro. That's aura. If you're begging to join, like, you must feel like Stompn, like you're so confident, aura, everything beyond, because in my opinion, no matter what, if you play an FPS game, if you're playing a 2D game, if you're playing a 3D game, if you're playing fucking Minecraft, bro, you can always improve no matter what. That's the whole beauty of gaming, is that it's like I try my best to improve as a player to this day. Even I play this game ever since 2017, so literally 9 years in May, so that's mental, bro.
It was undeniable at this point that on console, Stompn was the best, bar none, with even the people in second place to him not even being able to touch him. He was literally the Gojo of console, and still is. It's kind of insane. It got so bad.
Gojo, bro, oh my god, I was thinking, who's Gojo, but it's the guy from anime.
Stack with certain other good players, otherwise it would be too unfair to anybody else playing the tournament.
That's aura, bro.
Absolutely crazy. Imagine if PC Pro League made it to where Bolo just couldn't play with Spoit because they'd get too many kills. Like, that would never happen, but because the skill gap between Stompn was so vast compared to even the above average console rank star, the people who ran the server didn't see any other choice. But even after all of this, and everything I've said about Stompn, there was just one other player who was giving Stompn a bit of a run for his money.
Was it
Kaysen?
Kaysen?
Was widely considered to be the only other console player that could play on the level that Stompn was playing. Considering their playstyles and aim were very similar, this doesn't come too much of a surprise to me or anybody else who knows who Kaysen is. So when there was finally a challenger to Stompn and his skill and his throne as console king, they settled who was really better with how anyone does in the console community. They finally 1v1'd each other, and here's how it went.
To be honest, in my opinion, 1v1s don't matter. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like 1v1s mean Jack Diddley, bro, honestly. Because I feel like the one thing you're aiming at 1v1 is gun skill and how much confident you are to the other person. Because if you say right now that, for example, Kaysen and Stompn, let's say Stompn won against Kaysen in the grand finale. In my opinion, Stompn won not because of kills, not because of how he played. Of course, it could be the kills, but it's the situations he was in. For example, maybe 1v1s, 2v1s, from a 3v5 mixed to a 3v3. Do you mean stuff like that there? Do you mean communication, etc.? Stuff like that there. That's just my opinion, though.
Nah, what the? Nah, how'd you? Nah, that's crazy, man.
Oh my god.
Damn it, bro.
The quality of this video is fucking horrible, by the way. Just saying. No, it's so ass, bro. It's not my Elgato. It's just the video itself. That's great drone work.
Fuck, bro. No, you. Damn it, bro. But that shit was so donated. Damn, you were there.
It's such a casual 1v1. They're not like chatting shit.
Damn it, bro.
Not like Jinx anyway.
This was, and still is, one of the most close 1v1s of Stompn's career, but ultimately, Stompn would win, proving to everyone that he still rightfully belonged on the throne as console king. Since then, no one has been able to do what he does quite on the skill that he does it. At this point in his career, he's the best he's ever been, and it just seems that he keeps on getting better, not only in terms of his skill, but also in how famous he is getting. At just 17 years old, he has amassed over 400,000 followers on Twitch,
Fair play.
450,000 on TikTok,
Fair play.
and many more across his YouTube channels,
Fair
or
play.
people that do clip channels of him as well. Stompn came in the scene, dominating the ranked ladder the second he started playing Siege, and even after he was proved to be on controller, he's now dominating everyone in the entire world that is on console. He even gives some PC players a run for their money too. This is the story of a kid who was unstoppable, the very definition of a prodigy. This is the story of Stompn. If you like today's video,
There we go. This was made by the way in September 2024, so 2 years ago. So that's why he has no mention him switching to PC and actually playing for G2, etc. But we know where it goes. For example, he goes from he goes to PC, scrims, etc. Then he moves to G2, etc. The stories are rest. He won. Did he win? I actually don't know. Did he win anything yet? No, I don't think he won anything anyway. But there you go. So yeah. But guys, if you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, and if you want to feel free to subscribe. You can just subscribe if you want. Because if you want any more of these reactions, maybe reacting to Spoit, Pengu, Fabian, maybe even someone like Tens even, across different players, streamers, whatever, and even different videos, maybe like storytelling. Just let me know. Let me know down in the comments. But guys, thanks so much for watching. Take care. Goodbye, and I'll see you guys next video. Bye bye.